What's up, Wing Wing Nation? This is Joe here. We are cooking up a national tour, but we need some info from you. So if you click the link below, there's a survey. We need to know which cities to go to. If you want us to go to your hometown, let us know in the survey below, and we will consider it. It takes like 30 seconds, and you get 10% off our online store if you complete it. And come see us live in person. We're going to have car meets. We're going to have contests. We're going to have sim racing. It's going to be so fun. So let us know where to go, get 10% off merch, and it's a win-win. And let's get into the show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Past Gas. This week is Hyundai and Kia Part 2. We're going to be talking about some really cool race cars. Do you know they made a Hyundai Excel WRC rally car?
That's definitely an RC. Really cool race car.
Really cool race car. RC, baby. Put that on a t-shirt. We talk a lot more about Hyundai's continuing involvement in motorsport, as well as some really cool futuristic stuff they're coming out with. It's just a good one. So buckle up for Part 2.
It will make you rethink what you think of Hyundai and Kia.
Well said. In the last episode of Past Gas, we traced the parallel paths of Hyundai and Kia, two companies that started as industrial firms in post-war Korea. Each ventured into the automotive world with some early successes and plenty of challenges along the way. And in the wake of the Asian financial crisis, they joined forces to become one single company. But that is only half the story. Today, we're getting into how Hyundai and Kia shook off reputations of poor quality and used bold strategies to make key innovations that help place them among the most respected car makers in the world. So, what does it take to go from Punchline to Powerhouse? Let's find out. It's part 2 of Hyundai Like Sunday and Kia. Hello.
Punchline to Powerhouse. That's my autobiography.
Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Nolan Sykes. I'm joined by two cantankerous companions. Got Bart.
Hi, thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
And Joe.
From Punchline to Powerhouse. Available on Kindle.
It's a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah, I paid so much money to get on that list.
And yes, today is part 2 of Kia and Hyundai that I totally botched in the intro. The pronunciation.
Good, man.
You botched it.
I botched it.
You investigated it,
Yeah.
and then you came back and with more information.
Yeah. I'm the Titus Welliver of podcasts.
I wouldn't be. Doesn't Titus Welliver have a podcast?
Does he? I would love to be on it. I'd love to have him on a podcast.
Let me just check.
Titus Welliver, if you're listening.
He seems like a podcast guy.
Well, he's been on a lot of podcasts.
That's yeah.
Titus
but I will
Welliver's
tell you,
Ford Bronco obsession.
Yeah,
we got to give him on the big three.
We need to get him in here.
Anyways, I would go so far as to say, Nolan, I love you, but Titus Welliver is the Titus Welliver of podcasts. I think we just found that out.
I love Bosch. Bosch is great. Okay, but enough about me. Should we get into finishing?
No, let's talk about more celebrities
that I like. Yeah.
Let's get into
Gat
it.
Matarazzo. Right. What's up with that dude?
The guy who played Captain Winters on Band of Brothers. Like him. Dave Duchovny. Like him.
What are we doing? Let's get in here. Please don't put any of this in.
Please don't.
We'll be right back after these messages. This podcast is sponsored by Indeed.com. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PastGas. Just go to Indeed.com/PastGas right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/PastGas. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. This podcast is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Download the Underdog app and sign up now using the promo code GAS to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code GAS. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.npcgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. This podcast is sponsored by Chime. Turn your everyday purchases and on-time payments into steps toward your financial goals with Chime's secured credit builder Visa credit card. Get started today at chime.com/gas. That's chime.com/gas. Chime feels like progress. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by the Bancorp Bank, N.A. or Stride Bank, N.A. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Chime checking account required to apply. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal and OTC advance fees may apply. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Late payment may negatively impact your credit score. Results may vary. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details. Now back to the show.
After acquiring Kia in the late 1990s, Hyundai faced another pivotal moment of change. In 1999, Chung Ju-young, the company's founder and a towering industrial figure in South Korea, handed leadership to his son, Chung Mung-koo. The timing was critical. Hyundai had established itself as a major global player, but was grappling with significant challenges, including a tarnished reputation for quality and reliability. This was in large part because the senior Chung was more interested in how many cars Hyundai could build and less worried about how good they were.
Quantity over quality. That's the best. That's how I operate.
The younger Chung wasted no time charting a new course. According to company lore, he issued a decree. Hyundai would no longer prioritize volume. From now on, the company's focus was to be on quality. This decision marked the beginning of one of the most dramatic turnarounds in automotive history.
I would love to meet anybody who was like, what?
Yeah.
We're going to switch to quality? What are you, nuts?
Are you crazy, dude?
We don't do quality.
That would never work. Kia's bankruptcy had already shown the dangers of growing too fast without ensuring profitability and durability. The collapse of such a major player served as a cautionary tale for Hyundai and led both companies to reimagine their strategies. Quality, innovation, and global competitiveness became their new priorities. To understand what the best in the business was doing, the company benchmarked Toyota, widely regarded as the global leader in automotive quality at the time.
Good North Star. Toyota famously has I can't remember what the system is called, but anyone can press the pause button on the line, the production line.
Okay.
For any reason at all.
Mm-hmm. Something's not right.
Yeah.
Like the assembly line acts as its own quality control.
Yeah. So anyone has the power to be like, hey, hold on. I didn't screw that screw in.
Yeah. And of course they pioneered I forget the term, but the supply chain technique where like everything is ordered as it's needed instead of having a bunch of stuff laying on the shelves when it's not being used.
Starts with a J.
Just on time? I think it's just on time, is it not?
Really? Yeah.
Something like that, which eventually during the COVID era is why every other company thought that was such a good idea that everybody adopted it. And that's why during COVID, like supply chain issues were so rampant is because nobody had anything on the shelves because everything was they only ordered as much materials as they needed, which kept costs low and efficiency high. So anyway, one of the company's key initiatives was implementing Six Sigma, a technique designed to identify and eliminate defects in engineering and manufacturing processes. Designers and engineers work closely with suppliers to identify and resolve potential problems way before they reach production. Chairman Chung himself was deeply involved in these efforts. Twice a month, he attended quality oversight meetings that had previously been seen as unimportant.
That's crazy.
I'll skip it.
Yeah.
You want to do a 2-hour boozy lunch?
Let's get a little weird at lunch. Let's go to the French Laundry. Get a little sideways. Gavin Newsom's going to be there.
You guys want to go watch Sideways? I just got it on Blu-ray.
His presence sent a clear message. Quality was now the company's top priority. Attendance at these meetings became mandatory with no detail too small for scrutiny.
Improved quality wasn't the only focus. Hyundai also began to rethink its approach to design by embracing cleaner, more elegant lines and details that would appeal to international buyers. The shift was noticeable and helped make Hyundai's vehicles more competitive in markets like Europe and North America. In the US, Hyundai launched an aggressive marketing and advertising campaign to rebuild its tarnished reputation. Central to this effort was an unprecedented warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty that instantly set them apart from others. It was a bold statement of confidence in their products, as most automakers offered warranties lasting only 3 to 5 years. It was especially notable given the visible failures of earlier Hyundai models like the Excel. I do remember this was like, I seen an ad when I was, like 16, 17. I was like, That can't
It
be
was.
right.
It was. When they issued these, everyone was like, "No, that's not.
Yeah.
No." But
I was like, that must be a Punchline. And then it turns out to be a Powerhouse.
and they would last, and the ones that didn't, of course, they also lasted because they were still under warranty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So these cars would be on the road first owners for a long, long time.
I have an Excel story, if you would allow me.
Yeah.
When I was 16 and I still had my learner's permit, we hopped in my friend Heather's car. We drove up to Port Washington, which was like a 25-minute drive. We went out to like the end of the pier. They drank, and I was like, "Ooh, if they drink, I get to drive the car home."
Yeah.
And so they drank Night Train, like 2 or 3 bottles of Night Train.
That's like a malt wine, isn't it?
It's gross. It's basically like what I imagine them brewing it is just like them pouring water over grape juice powder and then letting it just like ferment.
Yeah.
That's what it tastes like. Mixed with Kool-Aid.
17.5% alcohol by volume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, does it say bumwine.com?
Yeah, this is on bumwine.com. If you ever want to look up, it's a dude passed out.
That is made on angelfire.com.
It's not secure. I'm going to X out of here.
Uh-oh. You're gonna compromise the network, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, they drank all this Night Train on the end of a pier.
Yeah.
And I actually found like a bottle floated up with a message in it. I can't remember what it said, but I was like, whoa, this is a real thing that happens.
It was in the Great Lakes. Where was it?
Port Washington, 25 miles north of Milwaukee. And then sure enough, they were like, "Oh, Joe, do you think you can drive?"
This
I was
bum
like, "Hell
wine's
yeah."
messed me up, dude.
I was completely sober, but we hopped in. It was a white Excel, and the front had been ripped off because they tried to drive through a puddle really fast, and the bumper just ripped in half.
Jeez.
And so it already looked kind of sketchy. It was packed with a bunch of drunk teenagers.
Okay.
And on the way back, my friend Bergen was like, "Dude, you gotta pull over." And I was like, "We're on the highway. There's no exit. Let me go to the exit." And he's like, "No, pull over right now." Sure, like pull over, and sure enough, like I look over and there's a cop, like with his radar gun in the middle of the median. I'm like, "Fuck." And so I was like, "Bergen, I gotta take off," which looked even more suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
So we take off. I sure enough see the blueberries and cherries in my taillights. Right then, Bergen gets super nervous and just yaks all over my back.
No.
And just
good Lord,
all down in the footwell. It's all this Night Train. And I get off the exit, cop knew I was like, I'm sober, but when they drank.
But it might smell like alcohol and barf because I just got alcohol and barf.
I was like, I told him, he was like, you can't just pull over on the highway. And I was like, well, my friend was going to throw up. I'm the designated driver. He was like, okay. I thought he was going to let me go. And then he was like, all right, you have to attend a 5-hour driving school. And I was like, off. I can't even make Bergen pay for it because it's not a ticket,
Jeez.
That's my Hyundai Excel story.
I mean, that warranty would have covered those carpets, though.
You think so?
No, probably not.
It also didn't cover the bumper.
No.
There is a Night Train by
but it is
law.
Actually, it's bumper to bumper drivetrain warranty. That's what they call it. Does that include the bumpers? Because they do mention bumper to bumper. Or, can
bumper
you get them on that
excluding
loop?
Bumpers?
Yeah, it's bumper to bumper excluding the bumper.
Dude, $4 a bottle for a Night Train?
It's almost 20% alcohol.
We should let's get a bottle.
I don't think they make it anymore.
They do. I've seen it.
You have? What's it on winetrader.com?
Night Train Express. It looks like brandy colored, which is
it looks really
a little
gross.
concerning.
The headache is probably crazy from that. Okay, anyway, sorry.
So Hyundai's strategy worked. Customers who had previously dismissed Hyundais as cheap and unreliable began to see them differently. The warranty was extremely effective in reassuring skeptical buyers and also forced competitors to step their game up, with many eventually offering longer warranties in response. Hyundai saw significant sales growth following the introduction of the warranty, particularly in the US.
I think that just goes to show that, for many buyers, it's not about necessarily the brand name that's on the car, just kind of the reassurance that it'll last a long time. And if it doesn't last a long time, you're still covered for a long period of time. Stability. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I think this is at a time when boomers were still buying the majority of cars at this time. And they were used to the cars of the 70s and 80s, which barely made it to 100,000 miles. And so to them, it's like, that's crazy. The commitment to quality instilled by Chung also yielded measurable results outside of sales numbers. In 2001, the company ranked 32nd out of 37 brands in J.D. Power's study of new vehicle quality after 90 days of ownership. But as Hyundai's quality initiatives took hold, its ranking steadily improved. By 2003, it had climbed up to 7th place.
That's nuts.
3 years later, in 2006, Hyundai reached 3rd place, trailing only luxury manufacturers Lexus and Porsche, and displacing Toyota as the highest-ranking mass-market brand in the world. That's nuts, dude. This achievement also helped to catapult Hyundai into the top 100 most valuable companies globally.
What's J.D. Power's deal again? We did a video
It's
on
a
them
weird thing
years ago.
Its initial quality
Yeah.
is within the first, I think, 90 days of ownership, the least reported
Problems. Okay.
So after that, it doesn't, like, let's say at a year, you're like, man, this car sucks. They don't factor that into.
You sounded like Hans Moleman.
Oh, I bought a Hyundai.
Hyundai's commitment to quality had a ripple effect on its new sister company, Kia, which began to undergo its own transformation in the early 2000s. Kia borrowed Hyundai's strategy of hiring top European talent by bringing in former Audi designer named Peter Schreier in 2006. Schreier, whose former work included the futuristic Audi TT, was tasked with giving the brand a more distinctive and appealing look. His design philosophy emphasized bold details and premium design while maintaining affordability.
Dude, the TT when it came out was crazy.
It was also funny. They didn't have a spoiler on the back, and it was shaped like a bean. So if you went too fast, you'd lose traction in the back. And they're like, ooh.
So they added that little
lip.
A lip guy. Schreier's innovation included Kia's now recognizable tiger nose grille, a bold, angular frame that tapers inward slightly at the center, giving it the subtle appearance of a tiger's nose and nostrils.
But there are also, if you look at Kia up to this point, it's like a record scratch change.
Yeah,
totally. I mean,
design.
I remember Kias of the early 2000s before the tiger nose, like really just jelly bean-esque.
Yes.
Very, very, just like we made a car.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
their best R&D tool was a copy machine.
Oh.
Oh.
Nice, Bart. Got their ass, dude.
It makes sense that they worked with Daewoo early on because those early hatchbacks really look like Daewoos.
Yeah, very, very much so. The grille's unique shape and proportions gave new Kias a playful edge that aligned with the brand's youthful personality. Under Schreier's leadership, Kia's lineup began to stand out in a crowded market. One of Kia's biggest successes was the Kia Soul.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Debuting in 2008, the Soul has become one of Kia's most recognizable and distinctive vehicles thanks to its boxy-ass shape. In the United States, over 100,000 Souls were sold each year. Wow.
Yeah. That's
Damn
something
right.
about.
From 2011 to 2018, making it the best-selling subcompactor in that period. In 2015, the 1 millionth model rolled off the production line, making Kia the most effective producer of Souls since God herself. Herself, dude.
I have a special place in my heart for the Soul.
Yeah.
Well,
that's where it lives, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Now my ex drove one, and both of my sisters drive one.
Mhm.
At a point, there was
One of my ex-girlfriends drove one too.
But
yeah.
remember, like when it first came out, you're like, no one's gonna buy that.
I wasn't a big fan of it until I saw those handsome hamsters dancing around the Kia Soul in those commercials.
And a weird connection to Donut, the guy, my friend Eric Baitzig, who designed the Tucson Red Rocket and Misery Machine shirts and the Trouble in Tucson shirt. He designed the original Ham Star logo.
What?
Back in 2010.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Over time, Hyundai and Kia have consolidated many of their functions to achieve better efficiency, but Schreier's quirky design innovations helped Kia form a playful and trendy personality that distances itself from Hyundai's more mature and refined brand that appeals more to families. This division allows the two brands to coexist and thrive without stepping on each other's toes. By maintaining separate identities from marketing and distribution, each company continues to compete in the global automotive market while benefiting from shared resources.
I never really thought of them as those like separate companies, but now that it's written, I'm like, oh yeah, it does make more sense that Hyundai makes more crossovers and SUVs.
They're, more upmarket, I think, than the Kias for sure. With the exception being like the Kia, is it the EV9? Is that their EV?
That's
Kia?
A big one, right?
It's not big, but it's like it's based on the Ioniq 5 platform. It looks pretty good. I'd say.
The EV6 is the one that's on
EV6. I'm sorry,
the Ioniq 5.
Yeah. EV9, is that a bigger one?
It's a big one. Yeah, It's a 3-row.
You can just say letters and numbers, and you will name a car.
Wait, what?
Oh, that is a big girl. Okay, yeah.
Look, it's got captain's chairs that face the opposite way.
Yeah, that's neat.
That's cool.
That's cool as hell, dude.
You can jerk each other off with your feet in that car.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check for no parking signs first before leaving your car. Now, that $3 coffee is costing you $300 because that good spot was actually in front of a fire hydrant. Yeah, checking first is smart. So, check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This podcast is sponsored by Indeed. When you work in the entertainment business, sometimes you have to hire people fast. But you have to hire the right people, or else your production is kaput. That's why I like Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job posts seen on other job sites. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you stand out and hire fast. With Sponsored Jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, Sponsored Jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring so fast. Because with sponsored jobs, you can get the right eyes on your posts. It just makes the process so much faster and easier, especially when you really need someone fast. Speaking of fast, there's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/passgas. Just go to Indeed.com/passgas right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/passgas. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. This podcast is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Do you ever watch sports and find yourself wishing there was a way to get into the game? Maybe you can't afford tickets, but you still want to participate in some way? Well, with Underdog, there's finally a way to make picks on sports without leaving the house. The game is in your hands. Underdog is one of the leading sports apps. To play, choose whether a player will go higher or lower in one of their stats. We're talking touchdowns, strikeouts, points scored, and more. They've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. And you can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. You can turn $1 into $1,000 just with your sports knowledge. So this week, my pick'em entries are Jack Flaherty higher than 6.5 strikeouts. I think he can do it. Also, another Dodger. Sorry, I know they're ruining baseball, but I think Shohei's going to hit higher than .05 home runs. Just to show you that I'm not just a Dodger stan, I'm also picking Juan Soto for higher than 0.5 home runs. So download the Underdog app and sign up now using the promo code GAS to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code GAS. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.npcgambling.org in Arizona. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Now back to the show.
Hyundai's journey toward respectability and excellence didn't just take place on factory floors or through clever marketing. It also happened on the racetrack. In the late 90s, as Hyundai began to reevaluate its global ambitions, the company saw motorsport as a way to prove itself. Hyundai first entered the World Rally Championship in 1998 with the Accent WRC, a heavily modified version of its budget-friendly compact car.
Dude, this thing is sick.
It's really sick, cool. Dude. It looks like a WRX or STI.
Yeah. It's a little two-door guy. It's got fastback styling, I would say. This thing is.
It's also got like hints of like the Cosworth Sierra in it.
Yes, you are very correct on that, Joe.
Simply joining the competition was a bold statement. Hyundai wasn't just there to make cars. Damn. It was there to compete and prove that they could roll with the big dogs.
And how did that work out?
Unfortunately, the big dogs kicked it off the porch when they were hanged. As Hyundai's first foray into racing was marked by technical challenges and a limited success.
Well, this first season, that's going to happen. This thing's really cool.
I know, I love it.
Cool.
It'd be cool to make this car.
Yes.
Yeah.
We could find an Accent.
Oh, God. Those are going to be dirt cheap.
Cheap. No one steal our idea. This is sick.
Nevertheless, it helped to set the stage for future excellence. In 2012, after taking a 9-year hiatus, Hyundai Motorsport was reestablished in Alzenau, Germany, with the goal of returning to the WRC. A project dubbed RM for Racing Midship launched that year as a rolling laboratory for racing tech that would eventually trickle down to the consumer cars. A Veloster was used as the test subject. Hyundai engineers stripped it down and experimented with things like weight distribution, engine placement, rigidity, and handling. After a few iterations, the end result was the RM16, which featured a mid-mounted engine, in-wheel double wishbone suspension, an electronic supercharger, and a new innovation, Hyundai's end-corner carving differential. This new diff was essentially an electronically controlled torque vectoring differential that could slow down or speed up wheels based on which direction the car is turning. Some of this technology was employed in Hyundai's first purpose-built rally car, the i20 WRC. This is the one that I know. There's a classic like crash where it flips off a mountain and flips like 10 times.
Jeez.
And the dudes are just all right. Yeah. They're like, you all right?
Oh, that was a crash. Yes.
Let's hear that engine though.
Yeah. So I found a video from Goodwood of the Accent WRC's exhaust.
Damn. And it's running at night too.
That's sick. That's cool.
That's really cool.
I see that and I think, yeah, sign me up for that.
I think I could get used to this.
Very cool. Cool car, man. I got to know more about it. I got to know everything.
The i20 WRC debuted in the 2014 WRC season, claiming the team's first ever pro victory at Rally Deutschland. In 2015, Hyundai drivers reached the podium 3 times that season, and the badge came in 3rd in the WRC Manufacturers Championship. Team Hyundai consistently improved over the next several years, and in 2019 and 2020 won back-to-back Constructors Championships, firmly cementing their place among the elite teams.
Oh, wow. That Hyundai is definitely one of the dominant cars, right?
Yeah.
In WRC.
I remember
it also looks cool.
When that happened, I was like, Hyundai is in it? Like, what's going on?
I mean, turns out all you got to do is start a team in Germany, hire some
German designers
and Scandinavian drivers.
Yeah.
And you're going to do good.
In 2016, Hyundai jumped into endurance racing for the first time with 2 different i30 prototypes and a Veloster at the 24 Hours of Nürburgring. Despite finishing towards the back of the pack in the first event, Hyundai doubled down on touring car racing development and now has an incredible amount of titles under their belt. Many of those are held by the i30N TCR. This i30N TCR won the Drivers' and Manufacturers' World Touring Car Championship in 2018. It has since won many championships all over Europe and Asia.
What I love about this era of WRC is that all the cars still look like relatively showroom-ish besides the lifted suspension and the wings and stuff. But because this is a Hyundai and, the jelly bean-esque nature of the design and just the car looks is like, oh, that's just a car racing now. You know what I mean? I mean, it's
funny because it's doing really aggressive, cool stuff.
It's so sick. I'm really gaining a lot of respect for Hyundai right now in this episode. This is cool. This is fun. Okay, so Hyundai's success in rallying didn't just stay on the racetrack. In 2015, the company launched its high-performance N sub-brand, named after Namyang, Hyundai's R&D center in South Korea, and the Nürburgring, where its vehicles are tested. They have a shop at the Nürburgring. These cars are marketed as track-ready, performance-oriented vehicles with sharp handling, impressive driving dynamics, and surprising affordability. The first vehicle to wear the N badge outside of racing was the N 2025 Vision Gran Turismo, which debuted at the 2015 Frankfurt Motor Show. This concept was more akin to a Le Mans prototype than a road-going sports car, and was an extreme departure from Hyundai's more conservative offerings. 2 years later, a working prototype was built to commemorate Hyundai's 50th anniversary of building cars. It featured 4 independent electric motors powered by hydrogen fuel cells and can produce, get ready, 872 horsepower while only weighing 2,100 pounds.
Jeez.
Which is coincidentally how much a 1996 Excel weighs.
Did you shut up about the 96
It might be it might be a little heavier with all that night train in the carpet.
200 pounds of night train.
The production,
you gotta get it over the border.
the production version of Smokey and the Bandit, but for discontinued night train. I found out that night train is no longer available, but people are holding on to bottles.
Yeah. Do you know that Hyundai's racing division actually started as moonlight runners for night train
in the Midwest?
I heard old night train runners used to barf on their backs so that cops wouldn't give them tickets.
A detuned version of the race car's engine could put out a very respectable 280 horsepower to the front wheels. Oh my God. The sporty hatchback was styled to look more aggressive, with a rally-inspired spoiler, red accents, and painted in the iconic performance blue. It is a great color.
I do love the performance. It's very close to petty blue.
Petty blue, or not lavender. Periwinkle.
Robin's egg?
It's like a periwinkle blue.
I like Robin's egg.
Robin's egg is good too. Both the i30N and the Veloster N, which we got here in the States, launched the same year and had a 6-speed manual or dual clutch automatic options. My buddy Cody him and his dad have the 6-speed Veloster N. And he took it to a ton of autocross events. Really fast.
Have you driven it?
So fun.
It's so fun.
I don't know if I've driven his
press car,
but we had the press car with the auto. Yeah.
No, that had a stick.
It did? Okay.
Yeah, because we taught Christina how to drive stick.
That's right. Yeah, great cars. While Kia doesn't have a performance division, they do have some hot models of their own cars, including the K5 GT, the Soul GT, and the Forte GT. The Soul GT.
Will Forte.
The Will Forte GT. Soul GT I was a fan of. We did a thing called Kia Car Wars several years ago, where we did a bunch of different challenges with a bunch of Kias. I really like the Soul. The Soul was good.
Yeah.
The most powerful car in this line, though, however, is the Kia Stinger GT, which comes with either a 300 horsepower turbocharged 4-cylinder or a 368 horsepower twin turbocharged V6. And compared to other cars in its class, the Stinger GT was both a sleeper and a bargain. We had a Stinger GT. They lent us one back in like 2018, and that was one of the first cars, or not one of the first cars, but I got in it and was like, I'm an adult now in this car. It's like, it was nice and like was pretty quick.
Well, it's also they put out their version of a 4-door performance sedan at a time when the American market was losing sedan, and it was just like it filled a void at just the right time and it performed. There's
like 2 kinds of Stinger GT owners out there. There's the GT owners that have a very clean Stinger and it's very well maintained. They're very proud of it. And then there's the other kind who debadge. They take the Kia badges off of it, take all the markings off of it, and try to make it look like a German car or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, guys, like, it's a good
Don't
car.
be ashamed.
I remember I was driving that Stinger to the office, and there's a guy in a K5 next to me.
Yeah.
And he rolled down his window. He's like, "No, it's a Stinger!" Like he was hyped.
Yeah.
Like
It was a big deal.
Yeah, it was.
When that came out.
Yeah,
That's a lot of horsepower from like.
From 4 cylinders, it's making 300 horsepower.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
And it's rear-wheel drive.
Speaking of rebadging, this is off topic, but Tesla drivers who don't agree with Elon are now putting fake badges of other car companies, and they actually look way better with like a Mazda logo on it.
That's funny. Hyundai's vision for growth wasn't limited to improving its mainstream lineup. Hyundai also wanted to expand into the luxury market. They started with a little brand called Equus.
Named after a play where a guy has sex with a horse.
He has sex with a horse? Daniel Radcliffe has sex with a horse?
Isn't that part of it? I know he falls in love with him.
Is that the one where he does it the whole plane naked?
Yeah, it's just a weird thing.
Latin for horse, the Equus was jointly developed with Mitsubishi Motors and was the biggest sedan both companies offered when it debuted in 1999. It was developed to compete with the SsangYong Chairman, a high-end executive car based on the Mercedes E-Class. The Equus sold very well domestically, but barely any were exported. Oh, okay. Hyundai wanted to compete with the likes of Mercedes, BMW, and Lexus on the world stage, and thus a plan was formulated. The idea for a new international luxury sedan first surfaced in 2003 under the name Concept Genesis. The project was entrusted to Hyundai's top engineers, designers, and strategists, who were given a clear but challenging mission: to create a car that could not only rival the best luxury models in the world, but also shatter any lingering stereotypes about the Hyundai brand. At this time, industry experts were skeptical. How could a mainstream automaker like Hyundai, known primarily for its affordability, compete in a market built on heritage and exclusivity? Well, I mean, that's the same questions that were asked about Lexus. But Hyundai pushed forward and was determined to prove the doubters wrong. This is for all my haters out there. I'm going to make a car called Equus. Named after naked Daniel Radcliffe. After 3 years of development and an investment of
Did you say Daniel Radcliffe?
Daniel.
I think that was a Freudian slip, man.
Daniel. I'm going to own it now.
Oh, please don't.
Flip it.
Go back to
Flip it. After 3 years of development and an investment of $500 million, Hyundai introduced the first Genesis executive car in 2008. It was a major departure from anything the company had built before. Hyundai, known for their affordable front-wheel drive cars, marketed as a, quote, progressive interpretation of the modern rear-wheel drive sports sedan. It offered a choice of a 306 horsepower Lambda V6 engine or the 375 horsepower Tau V8, the first domestically built V8 engine from Hyundai. It also boasted features like premium interior materials, cutting-edge safety technology, and a 17-speaker sound system. 17.
Isn't that crazy?
That's a lot.
375 horsepower is a lot from...
That's pretty decent. Yeah, that's good. The Genesis was a hit right out the gate. It won the 2009 North American Car of the Year award, which helped give Hyundai the credibility it needed to be taken seriously in the American luxury car market. However, the original Genesis was still badged as a Hyundai, which created some cognitive dissonance for buyers who associated Hyundai with economy rather than prestige. Customers were drawn to the car's luxury features and competitive pricing, but wanted a separate brand dedicated to high-end vehicles, and Hyundai listened. In 2015, Genesis Motors was officially formed as a standalone luxury division. This move mirrored strategies used by other automakers such as Toyota with Lexus and Honda with Acura. In 2016, Genesis Motors launched its first two models. There was the G80 and the G90.
I think also it's funny that when they launched the Genesis line, there was a big, like, why would you name it after a car you already made? But here we are, like 10 years later.
Makes sense
and
now.
Everybody's forgotten.
Yeah.
It's its own thing.
Yeah. The G80 was essentially an evolution of the original Hyundai Genesis, offering enhanced comfort, performance, and refinement. The G90, meanwhile, positions itself as a flagship luxury sedan, successfully competing with the likes of Mercedes-Benz S-Class and the BMW 7 Series. Genesis is a testament to Hyundai's continuing evolution. Its vehicles offer the craftsmanship and performance expected from high-end brands, but at a price point that makes them accessible to a wider range of buyers. It's essentially the same blend of ambition and value that made Hyundai and Kia successful in the first place. Dude, these current Genesis cars look pretty freaking good.
They're nice.
Yeah.
He is smart, and I didn't know that it started in 2006, but the poaching of luxury brand designers that then continued
Very smart.
after Schreier.
Yeah.
It's smart.
And, it's funny that I don't know when the switch happened in my mind, but, like Infinity for the longest time, I was like, oh, Infinities are so nice. Like,
yeah.
And then when Genesis first started off, I was like, yeah, but it's still a Hyundai. And at some point, I don't know, maybe 2018, 2019, like Nissan quality went way down, Hyundai quality went way up. And at some point, Genesis in my mind was like way better than Infinity.
Do you know if these Hyundai Equus, have you heard anything like reliability wise about them?
They're still out there. You can get one for $10,000.
They're joint made with Mitsubishi at a time when Mitsubishi was making really reliable stuff. So,
I mean, here's one in Sherman Oaks for $11,000.
What? That's expensive.
I mean,
for an Equus, like a 20-year-old car?
No, it's 2013.
Oh,
2013. I don't know. I think that'd be an interesting option. It looks really nice on the inside.
Can you get a foot job in the back seat?
Oh my God.
Here we go. Whole foot job Joe.
Joe at a car dealership.
All right, you got to close all these tabs of toes.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Toes, as I call them. They're just tabs.
I got to close all the toes on my browser.
A special browser that just had like foot
nails up top.
No, thank you.
This journey to global success hasn't been without its setbacks. Despite Hyundai's achievements, both it and Kia have faced controversies that tested their reputations in recent years. In 2006, Hyundai chairman Chung Mung-koo, the visionary who overhauled the entire company, was indicted for embezzling almost $100 million to create a political slush fund. He originally received 3 years in prison, but an appeals court suspended the sentence because it thought he was too important to the economy to go to jail.
Come on.
He even remained in charge of Hyundai. Yikes.
Yeah, geez. Come on, man.
Then in 2012, the Environmental Protection Agency found that Hyundai and Kia had overstated fuel economy ratings for several 2011 to 2013 models, with discrepancies as large as 6 miles per gallon.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Companies paid $300 million in penalties, one of the largest in industry history, and were forced to compensate customers for high fuel costs. Most recently, Kia and Hyundai have been exposed for their lack of security, which makes their vehicles easy to steal. A TikTok trend exposed the vulnerability, leading to many cars being stolen. The viral, quote, Kia challenge showed how a USB connector could bypass the ignition, leading to a surge in GTAs across the USA. We even made a video on how easy it is to steal a Kia, and they did not like it.
No, they did not.
Companies' response to the theft of their cars has been less than elegant. In a laughable attempt to mitigate theft in Cleveland, Hyundai sent 80 wheel locks to the Cleveland police to distribute to Kia and Hyundai owners.
There's got to be more than 80 Hyundais in Cleveland.
Yes, there is, which is why it's laughable.
Oh. Huh.
We do have fun.
A class action lawsuit was filed on behalf of the owners, and Hyundai agreed to shell out $200 million, and eventually a software fix was offered.
Yeah, that was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I mean,
put it lightly.
I didn't know they sent out wheel locks. Like that's going to be like
that's pretty
the
funny.
solution.
We'll be right back after these messages. This podcast is sponsored by Chime. Everything's expensive now. New cars, used cars, groceries, even frickin' milk. The last thing you want to do is put milk on your credit card. Now you got debt trying to pay off milk? There's a better way though. You can build credit with money you set aside and avoid interest or expensive debt with Chime's Credit Builder Card. It's a secured credit card with no credit check or minimum deposit required. Start building credit with your everyday purchases and regular on-time payments with no annual fees, interest, or credit check at chime.com/gas. I can tell you from my personal experience that building credit is very important for everything from buying a car to a home to going on vacation to getting lower interest rates on other credit cards. And Chime's Credit Builder card is the best way to get into building credit. There's no annual fees, interest, or credit check to apply. You get access to 50,000 fee-free ATMs, and there's fee-free overdraft with SpotMe. You can overdraft up to $200 without fees with SpotMe when you set up qualifying direct deposits. So turn your everyday purchases and on-time payments into steps toward your financial goals with Chime's secured Credit Builder Visa credit card. Get started today at chime.com/gas. That's chime.com/gas. Chime. Feels like progress. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by the Bancorp Bank, N.A. or Stride Bank, N.A. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Chime checking account required to apply. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal and OTC advance fees may apply. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Late payment may negatively impact your credit score. Results may vary. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details. This podcast is sponsored by Shopify. When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, we're talking like Aloe or Allbirds, Skims. Sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing, but an often overlooked secret is actually the business behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret was Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling, strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Donut's online store uses Shopify, and let me tell you, it's a breeze to use. So upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Donut uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/gas, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/gas to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/gas. Now back to the show.
Despite these setbacks, though, Hyundai has managed to position itself as an industry leader.
It's also, I will say, it doesn't feel like that's hurt their reputation. I think in a weird way, everybody's kind of given a pass. Like, we're just all getting used to this technology thing together.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's a bit of a blip.
Yeah.
Why does it even have a USB port?
Well,
in
no,
it,
the
though?
key. So the key is shaped like it's one of the the key is shaped very rectangularly, and so you just stick the thing USB. It doesn't matter what kind of USB, any sort of USB connector into that thing, and it'll let you twist the ignition and turn the car on. Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, in recent years, the company has channeled its ambitious spirit and diligent technical process into electrification, which has become a cornerstone of its long-term strategy. One of Hyundai's most significant recent milestones was the introduction of the Electric Global Module Platform, or E-GMP, in 2020.
This is my nickname back in the old Baltimore rave scene.
This dedicated EV architecture underpins the next
just
generation.
say E-GMP.
E-GMP.
Just so we have it.
Yeah, it's
the
E-GMP. Or
E-GMP.
E-GMP in 2020.
Get out the E-GMP.
This dedicated EV architecture underpins the next generation of electric vehicles from both Hyundai and Kia. It allows for longer driving ranges, faster charge times, up to 80%, just 18 minutes. That would have been helpful when I was driving that Charger. Jesus. And more spacious interiors.
Let it go, no.
I'll never let it go. And more spacious interiors by optimizing battery placement and vehicle design. It's allowed Hyundai to compete directly with leading EV manufacturers. I mean, their Ioniq cars, I see a ton of Ioniq 5s.
They're all over.
Yeah.
And
Not so much of the-
I still have like a reaction where it's like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I don't see too many of the EVs or Ioniq 6s, like the sedan one.
Oh, I'm getting them mixed up. I don't really like the Ioniq 5.
The hatchback one.
It looks like a Beetle, right? Like kind of a weird.
That's the Ioniq 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The 5 is the hatchback.
Yes.
The 6 is the weird one.
But I do like the EV6. The EV6 is the brushed metal matte.
That's the Kia. It's the
Yes.
EV6. Yeah. It's a little confusing. Yes. So anyway, a standout example of Hyundai's EV prowess is the Ioniq 5, a retro modern crossover that debuted to critical acclaim and won numerous awards, including Car of the Year in 2022. It looks like they really were inspired by Giorgetto Giugiaro's kind of designs.
Yeah.
Hyundai is now squaring off with Tesla in the battle for electric dominance, just as it once took on Ford and Toyota, then Mercedes and BMW. The Ioniq 5 even got an N variant that garnered praise from many EV skeptics. Justin thought it was a fun car when he drove it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's high praise
big.
from Justin.
Yeah.
My ex Rachel came home one day and she was like, I saw a really cool car. I've never seen it before. It was called like the Ionio. Because the old
key looks like an O.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Ionio.
Again, with those colors,
Yeah. Looks good.
cars look so good.
Yep.
Yeah. Hyundai is investing heavily into EV performance. Last year, they announced the Magma tuning division for the Genesis brand, which is aimed directly at the likes of legacy in-house tuners like AMG and M. The first car to get the Magma treatment will be the GV60. The end result is expected to be an Ioniq 5-based luxury crossover with stretched and vented wheel arches, 21-inch wheels, big old brakes, and a rear wing, and Magma's signature eye-catching orange paint. It does look pretty good. Genesis's entire
the
lineup...
paint color, guess the name?
Lava orange.
Magma orange.
Magma.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's
Right
Magma
there.
again. I thought you'd get it, man. Holy crap. Does it look great?
Genesis's entire lineup will eventually
Oh
get
my
a
goodness.
Magma treatment, and the brand has even teased a wild Magma hypercar concept in Gran Turismo, the 1,071 horsepower hybrid V6 X Gran Berlinetta. And if you weren't ready to take Magma seriously, they've hired 6 times Le Mans winner Jackie Ickx as brand ambassador. With Hyundai's success in revamping their image and creating a successful motorsport team and performance division, it's hard to think that Magma won't succeed. Hyundai also has 2 awesome electric-powered concepts in the pipeline, the Heritage Series Grandeur and the N-Vision 74. The Heritage Series Grandeur is a home-baked battery EV resto mod of a 80s Grandeur, which is Hyundai's first attempt at a flagship sedan. Little would give the car away on the outside apart from the Ioniq 5-esque taillights, but inside the car is decked out in 80s-style futurism, from cocktail bar lighting to a Tim Burton Batman-style shifter. This thing's pretty neat.
I like this.
The N-Vision 74 is another retro-inspired car, but instead of taking the Grandeur's luxury EV route, the Vision 74 aims to make another claim for Hyundai as a serious performance manufacturer, this time with hydrogen power. Hyundai claims the dual motors, co-designed with Rimac,
Oh, sick.
make a combined 679 horsepower. The car is rear-wheel drive
Ooh.
with a motor powering each wheel, allowing for an innovative new torque vectoring system. It looks amazing. I
This
love
looks
this
like
thing.
a Matrix car. Where it's like, get in. And then they suck like a little worm out of your stomach.
In this car, in the
That's
Vision
Matrix.
74 or
They suck a
the
little worm out of his stomach?
Yeah, it's the little.
yeah, the little tracker.
Hold on.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
What is that thing?
Jesus Christ, that thing's real! I think I nailed that, by
Yeah,
the way.
you
You
did.
watched the movie? Fucking nailed that.
I got to rewatch that.
I watch it probably every year. It's my favorite movie.
Okay.
Yeah. It's my favorite movie. Finally, the company also has pledged to achieve carbon neutrality by 2045. This includes transitioning its entire lineup to zero emissions vehicles.
Boo.
I want gas in my face.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Expanding its
ahead.
investments in renewable energy and developing sustainable manufacturing practices. Guys, let's go. It's a bold commitment that reflects Hyundai's continued role as a forward-thinking industry leader. Today, Hyundai stands as the 3rd largest automotive group in the world, combining with Kia to sell more than 7 million cars every year. The company's evolution from the humble Hyundai Excel to its acquisition of Kia to the luxurious Genesis G80 and the cutting-edge Ioniq 5 is nothing short of extraordinary. Can't forget those captain chairs either. Few automakers have achieved such a dramatic transformation in such a short time. Hyundai's story is one of ambition and reinvention, and as the company charges toward an electric future, it's clear that Hyundai's journey is far from over.
Charges, like how you charge your EV.
Oh, yeah, nice. The end.
The end.
Dude, that Excel WRC is super cool. The Vision N or
You know what it
N74 is
reminds me
sick.
of is like the 2.5 RS.
Mm-hmm. It's very Ford Escort-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's cool, man.
We should buy one for like $1,500 and restore it to.
That'd be cool.
that.
Yeah.
Because also the story is really cool. Like Hyundai racing is not really talked about that much.
Definitely not. Especially that like late 90s, early 2000s
Mhm.
era.
Because then they took a huge break.
Yeah.
And so even
Took a
though they
tolerance
did
break.
race
Yeah.
and they were forgotten very quickly.
Joe, we got some listener mail.
Oh, that's my duty, huh?
Yep, it's your job.
This is from Jacob. I know that you all will probably have recorded Volvo Part 3 at this point, but As a current Volvo owner, I wanted to express my thanks for spending time on this company. Us Volvo owners are a unique and passionate bunch, which I feel translates well to the history of the company. My daily driver is Volvo's modern take on the P1800 shooting brake, a C30 T5 with the Polestar tune, CA legal, FTW. It fit all of my wife's categories of safe, reliable, fuel efficient, and my category of fun to drive. I live in the Inland Empire, so it feels strange to own a Swedish car where the temps often reach triple digits, but it has served me well nonetheless. Fun fact, the designer of the C30 had a photo shoot with the taillights because he liked the design so much.
I love these two.
They're very silly.
What? That's
It's
awesome.
exactly the type of dude who I thought would have designed those.
That's so funny. Those are sick taillights, though.
I do think those are the most striking part of it, even though it has that crazy rear window.
Yeah.
Joe, he looks happier with these taillights than you did with your new baby.
You know what I saw last week was a Volvo 780 coupe, a 2-door.
Oh.
It was sick, and the dude it had like some old school like BBS wheels on it too.
Was it like maroon?
No, it was silver.
Oh, okay.
It was really cool.
Cool.
And I don't think I'd ever seen one of those before. And then, but you know, been a week or two after we did Volvo, I was like, I know what that is.
I have started noticing there's like a couple 240s in my neighborhood, and in person, the headlights are so big.
Mhm.
You're like, whoa, that's a huge headlight, but it's very safe. You know it's coming at you.
I was at a kid's birthday party. My kid. It was a friend of mine. Anyways, but it was Cars themed, and they're just beating the shit out of this pinata, this car. It just
anti-car themed.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't break. And I made the joke, yeah, it must be a Volvo. And no one laughed.
You take out a flask.
And then I was like, they're very safe cars.
Yeah. And they're like, oh,
That's cool, Bart.
They tap your shoulder.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. One of these children's fathers, the name of whom no one knows. Because you haven't talked to everybody this entire kids' party.
Thanks to all of you for all of you have done for the car community. I've been watching since Wheelhouse, listened to all of DRS.
Oh, thank
And
you.
have a
You're the
very-
guy who watched Wheelhouse.
All right. We had some very successful videos.
and have a very worn out logo shirt to prove it.
Hell yeah,
Props
dude.
to all of the creators, writers, and video editors for making it happen. Thanks, Jacob. P.S. I try to make it to the Grand Prix of Long Beach every year for Saturday's IMSA race. Highly recommend it for the variety of engines. If you see a bearded dude with a Spinny Boy shirt on, chances are it's me. I don't know. That's a big percentage of people that go there.
Hold on. Did I meet this guy? I might have met this
Jacob.
guy.
From the Inland Empire.
Maybe. At
Drives a
the
C30.
Fresno. There's another bearded guy with the Spinny Boy shirt at the Fresno Rallycross we went to.
Oh, maybe.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Thank you for thanking the people behind the scenes. And we want to thank you for listening to this show or watching it on YouTube if that's where you are. We appreciate it very much. Go check out the Big Three every week. We also do a news show, a current event news show. In addition to this podcast, follow the boys at Bids Bardo, at Joji Weber. Big thank you to Audrey behind the mixing board and Edgar behind the camera over there. We will see you next week. And in the meantime,
Keep on trucking.
nice. Do you make that up?
I just came up with it now.
That's pretty cool.
That is really good.
Okay.
This podcast was sponsored by Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/gas, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/gas to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/gas.